It was a Monday morning, but instead of being in the office, billionaire bachelor Andrew Walker found himself in a hospital. Lately, he'd been suffering frequent headaches, and finally, he gave in and scheduled a checkup. Can you imagine a billionaire facing his worst fear? As the doctor entered the consultation room with a folder in hand, Andrew set aside the iPad he had been using to review his work schedule. "Doc, what's the result?" he asked. The doctor's face was hard to read, grim and hesitant. "Is it that bad?" Andrew joked lightly, trying to break the tension. The doctor sighed and held out the results from the MRI and other tests. "I'm sorry, Mr. Walker, but you have brain cancer." Andrew's world shook. "Doc, can it still be treated?" "I'll pay anything." But the doctor shook his head. "How much time do I have left?" Andrew asked, now deadly serious. "If you're lucky, a year," came the quiet reply. "What would you do if you only had a year to live?" Stay tuned to Dark Voices for a story that'll grip your heart. Andrew left the hospital in silence, shoulders slumped. Once inside his car, he stared out the window deep in thought. Without warning, he spoke up, startling his personal assistant and driver, Ben. "I need to get married and have a child. I need an heir." Ben hit the brakes. "Sir, what did you just say? Why the rush?" Andrew turned to him. "Announce it to everyone at Walker Global Group. I'm looking for a wife." And just like that, the news exploded, not only in the company, but all over the city. The entire country knew that the 30-year-old billionaire CEO, owner of countless hotels and resorts, both locally and internationally, was in search of a bride. Women from wealthy families, celebrities, and even hopefuls from less privileged backgrounds lined up for a chance to be interviewed at his mansion. But Andrew treated each woman the same, fairly, without favoritism, not even for the daughter of a rival CEO. Every day the line outside his mansion stretched long, with each woman dressed to impress. Meanwhile, Lauren Lister had just arrived in Los Angeles. She was immediately intrigued by the unusually long line outside an enormous estate. "What's going on here?" she mumbled. Seeing the glamorous women in line, Lauren guessed there was an audition for a reality TV show. She pulled her large suitcase behind her, stepped into the line, and asked the woman in front, "Hey, is this the audition for the show where people live in the same house?" The woman only nodded, visibly irritated. "Geez, what's her problem?" Lauren muttered. She dragged her luggage and endured the sweltering heat for hours. Her stomach growled. She hadn't had lunch. "God, it's almost nightfall and I'm still in line. I'll throw a fit if I don't get accepted," she grumbled. Will Lauren's bold move change her life forever? Keep watching Dark Voices to find out. Inside the mansion, Andrew massaged his temples, exhausted. "That's enough for today. Tell them to come back tomorrow," he told the guard. None of the women he had interviewed had passed his standards. None had sparked any interest. It was obvious most of them were after his money. He didn't mind that so much, but he wanted a wife he could actually enjoy spending time with, especially since he had little time left. "Sir, there's only one woman left outside." "Isn't it a bit cruel to make her return tomorrow?" the guard asked. "Even if there are one or two more, tell them to come back tomorrow." "I'm done for today," Andrew said firmly. The guard scratched his head and relayed the message to the gate. "I'm sorry, miss. The boss said to come back tomorrow." Lauren frowned. "I've been in line for hours. I haven't even eaten. I'm from out of town. Can't you please extend it by just a few minutes? I'm the last one here." "I'm really sorry," the guard said. "The boss has interviewed so many women today. He's completely exhausted." Lauren grabbed the gate and shouted, "Come on, please. You won't regret it if you let me in. I'm fun. I can cook, clean, dance, sing. I do it all. Big brother, give me a shot." The guard blinked, unsure whether to laugh or be concerned. "Miss, please don't make a scene. You'll get us in trouble." Before he could say more, a deep voice rang out. "Who's making all that noise? Didn't I say to send everyone home?" Andrew had stepped out. "Sorry, sir," the guard stammered. "This lady here is just very persistent." Lauren turned toward the man approaching the gate. He wore a green polo shirt and white shorts, simple clothes, yet he looked like he walked straight out of a magazine. Her eyes scanned him. He had thick black brows, long lashes, a sharp nose, and smooth fair skin. "Wow, is he a celebrity?" "Who are you?" Andrew asked. "I'm Lauren. Lauren Mallister. I came to audition to be a housemaid on Big Brother," she beamed. Andrew stared blankly. "Housemate?" "Yes." "Isn't this the audition for that reality show?" she asked eagerly. Andrew was still puzzled, but Lauren even sang the theme song. "You're a star, so show the world who you are." Andrew nearly chuckled. He leaned over to the guard and whispered something. Then he turned back to Lauren, amused. "So, you want to be on TV? You want to be a star?" Lauren nodded excitedly. "I'll do anything. I've got what it takes, don't I?" She even struck a few poses like a model. Andrew thought about what she had just said. "I'll do anything. Open the gate. I found the woman I'm going to marry." Lauren's brow furrowed. "Marry? What?" "I thought you said you'd do anything to be a star," Andrew said. "Come in. Let's discuss your first role." He turned around and walked back into the mansion. The guard hurried to open the gate. "Hurry, miss, before he changes his mind. Hundreds of women have lined up here every day to become his wife. Don't waste this chance." Still stunned, Lauren stepped inside. As Lauren walked in, guided by a housemaid, she glanced around the grand mansion. A fountain stood in the middle of a circular driveway. There was a vast garden, a massive garage lined with luxury cars, and the entire estate looked like something out of a palace. The design of the house was a mix of modern and classical. Inside, the handsome man, who had just declared he would marry her, sat silently on a black leather sofa, sipping coffee. "Have a seat," he said, pointing to the couch across from him. "Thanks." Lauren tried to act composed, though she was nervous. If he didn't like what she had to say, she was ready to bolt out the door. "I'm Andrew. Andrew Walker." He watched her for a reaction, but she didn't seem to recognize his name. "Where are you from?" he asked. "Aura," she answered curtly. "What brings you to LA? Wait, is this an interview? Why not just ask for my resume?" she quipped. Andrew was caught off guard by her bluntness. Lauren, too, was surprised at her own words. Her candid and feisty nature came out, even as nerves gripped her. "You got one?" Andrew asked, amused. Lauren hesitated, then reached into her bag and handed over her resume. Lauren Mallister, 26 years old. She hadn't finished college, but was close before life forced her to set aside her dreams and work as a sales lady in a provincial mall. Andrew studied her photo. She was undeniably beautiful. Big round eyes, a small nose, and lips that were soft and heart-shaped. Something stirred in him as he looked at her face. Her lips, pink and kissable, seemed to pull him in. When he looked up, he found that she looked even better in person. Her skin was bronze and her hair had a natural wave. "So," Lauren said, snapping Andrew out of his daze. "What was it you said earlier?" "Oh, right. I'm looking for someone to marry immediately." "Why the rush? Are you dying or something?" she joked, but she stopped laughing when she saw how serious he looked. "You're right," he said. "I'm dying. I've been told I only have about a year left. That's why I need a wife and a child." Lauren's smile faded. "I'm sorry. That joke was out of place. I didn't know." "It's okay. So, all those women lined up earlier, they were applying to be your wife?" she asked, trying to change the subject. Andrew nodded. "Yes, but I didn't like any of them." Lauren raised an eyebrow. "With all those gorgeous women?" "I found one now," Andrew said. He reached for his coffee cup and took a sip. Lauren stared at him. Me? She accidentally spit her coffee from surprise and coughed, thumping her chest. You okay? Andrew asked, handing her a tissue and patting her back. A strange warmth rushed through Lauren at his touch. She immediately sat up straight. I'm fine, thank you. But why me? You're interesting. Simple as that. That's it? Not even a compliment about how I look better than all the other women you saw, she thought bitterly. What do I get out of marrying you? She asked aloud. Andrew laid a folder in front of her. That's the contract. It says, I'll give you $1 million a month for the duration of a 1-year marriage contract. If you get pregnant in the first month, you'll get an additional $10 million after the contract ends. If I die, one of my mansions and another $10 million will be left to OTAU. The rest of my estate goes to the child. You won't have access to that. Lauren's eyes widened. She read the contract and sure enough everything he said was there. No wonder so many women wanted to marry you, she muttered. You don't seem to know who I am, Miss Mel Lister. I'm the CEO of Walker Global Group. That amount is pocket change for me, Andrew said. But he wasn't bragging. It was a matter-of-fact tone. Can I think about it? Lauren asked. Everything was happening so fast. She'd only come to LA to chase her dream of becoming an actress and help her parents out of poverty. She never imagined she'd be handed a millionaire lifestyle through marriage and in such a strange way. There's a long line outside, Miss Mel Lister. You might lose your spot. Truth be told, Andrew had no plans of continuing his search. He was sure he wanted to marry Lauren. He was just trying to pressure her into saying yes. Lauren exhaled deeply and closed her eyes. Fine, I'll do it. Andrew wasted no time. The next day, he hired a wedding coordinator to prepare for the ceremony scheduled the following week. News of the upcoming marriage of one of the nation's richest bachelors spread like wildfire. It even reached Lauren's hometown. One day, Lauren was surprised when a guard told her someone was asking for her at the mansion gate. Mom, Dad, she exclaimed, rushing out. Girl, you just left a few days ago, and now we hear you're getting married. Her mother scolded. You didn't even have a boyfriend back home. I'm sorry, Ma. I was surprised, too. I'll explain everything. You better, her father added. You're our only child. You can't just get married without us knowing. Right on cue, Andrew arrived from work and spotted the three talking at the gate. He rolled down his window. Lauren, who are they? My parents, Lauren replied. Let them in, Andrew said before continuing into the estate. Come on in, Ma, Pa Lauren said. Goodness, why are you carrying a chicken? She asked her dad as they walked toward the mansion. You know your dad, he loves his youngest child, her mom replied with a chuckle. Lauren just shook her head, smiling. Lauren's father, Simon, walked into the living room, still carrying the box with the chicken inside. Andrew, seated and waiting, stared at it curiously. Please have a seat, he said, unable to take his eyes off the chicken. Oh, you didn't have to bring a gift. The wedding reception will be held at a hotel and we've already arranged catering, so we won't need to cook, Andrew added. Lauren shot him a warning look. What is he saying in front of my dad, she thought. Son, what are you talking about, her mother asked, raising an eyebrow. Andrew pointed to the box. That chicken, I thought it was a gift. Lauren burst out laughing. What are you saying? That's my dad's pet. He treats it like family. Andrew looked back and forth between Lauren and the chicken, confused. How can you have a chicken as a sibling? Son, even if you don't prepare anything for the wedding, I will not let you cook my chicken. He's a fighter. He's not meant for soup, Simon said proudly. Andrew froze, slightly embarrassed. Well, moving on. Why didn't you inform us about the wedding? Simon changed the topic. What's your name again? Dad, it all happened so fast. I forgot to tell you, Lauren said. Of course it did. You just arrived in LA and already you're getting married. You little flirt. Her mom teased, pinching her side. Mom, please. I'm not a kid anymore. Lauren whined. Well, good thing someone was willing to marry our messy-look daughter, Simon joked. Lauren pouted. Dad, that's so mean. Andrew sat silently, watching the three of them, smiling to himself. He hadn't felt this kind of familiarity and warmth since his parents died when he was 20. He realized this was exactly what he wanted, to spend the remainder of his life in happiness. I apologize for not asking Lauren about you both sooner. I'm glad you came. I hope you can attend our wedding next week, Andrew said. We wouldn't miss it, even if you didn't formally ask for our blessing, Simon replied. But why so sudden? Don't tell me you got our daughter pregnant. I swear I'll come after you with a machete. Dad, Lauren interrupted. I'm terminally ill, Andrew said frankly. I'd like to keep this private. If word spreads, there could be problems with the company. The couple exchanged glances, their expressions softening. Where are your parents, son? Lauren's mom asked. I'm alone. Upon hearing that, her mom fell silent. Her dad cleared his throat. In that case, we won't stop you too. Since you're going to marry our daughter, treat us as your parents, too. Just take good care of our only daughter. As your second father, I'll even teach you how to raise roosters if you want, Simon offered. Dad, come on. He doesn't need rooster lessons, Lauren said, then quickly clapped a hand over her mouth. She looked at Andrew, worried he might be offended, but he simply smiled. Thank you. Lauren felt a strange warmth flood her chest. She didn't understand why, but it felt like a light had turned on inside her. Finally, their wedding day arrived. You may now kiss the bride, the priest declared. Lauren's heart raced. This would be her first kiss ever. As Andrew leaned in, she whispered, "Behave yourself." Luckily, no one else heard. Andrew smirked playfully and moved closer, but instead of kissing her lips, he lightly touched his lips to the tip of her nose. He knew it was her first kiss. He didn't want to shock her. Lauren was stunned. He hadn't taken advantage, but still, she was expected to bear his child. What difference did it make? She shook her head. After the ceremony, her parents left the mansion, saying they didn't want to hover over the newlyweds and interfere with their efforts to give them a grandchild. The next morning, over breakfast, Andrew casually asked, "So, where do you want to go for our honeymoon?" Lauren's face turned red as she recalled their first night. She had never had a boyfriend before, never been touched or kissed. Well, the kiss on the nose didn't really count. When he had kissed her lips later that night, her brain practically shut down. And when he leaned over her, she fainted. Yes, she literally passed out on their wedding night. Where do I want our honeymoon? Isn't that something we're supposed to do in the bedroom? She asked innocently. Isn't it kind of weird to do it in the living room or the pool? What if people see us? Andrew almost choked on his food. This woman was unbelievably innocent. He grinned wickedly, deciding to tease her. Who said we can only have a honeymoon in the bedroom? We can do it in the living room, the kitchen, the garden, or the pool, he said, leaning toward her. I could give the staff the day off, and we'd have the mansion all to ourselves. Lauren's eyes widened as she glanced around. One of the housekeepers was pouring her juice and clearly trying to suppress a laugh. Stop it. People will think I'm some kind of pervert. Lauren snapped. Andrew only smirked. Honestly, your mind is too clean. That's probably why you passed out on our wedding night. The housekeeper burst into laughter beside Lauren. Sorry, ma'am. I just couldn't help it. You're too cute with your innocence. Lauren's face turned crimson with embarrassment. She glared at Andrew and returned to eating in silence. When Andrew left for work, Lauren spent time chatting with the house staff, as she often did. She got bored at home, and they wouldn't let her help with the chores, so she passed the time being nosy and friendly with them. "B, are you married?" Lauren asked. Yes, ma'am, Bea answered while washing dishes. What did Andrew mean earlier when he talked about the honeymoon? Isn't that just about making babies? Bea smiled. Ma'am, a honeymoon is like a vacation for newlyweds. You two can go somewhere fun or even travel abroad, just the two of you. Later that afternoon, when Andrew got home, Lauren greeted him. Andrew, what is it? He asked, removing his shoes. I know where I want us to have our honeymoon. It's embarrassing to do it here at home with so many people around, and you know making a baby is a lot of work. So I think we should go somewhere cold. Can we go to Lake Tahoe? While loosening his tie, Andrew looked at his wife. He held back a laugh. She really was too innocent, but it was endearing and brave at the same time. A rare combination. Sure, he replied. But are you sure you only want to go to Lake Tahoe? Don't you want to go to Paris? Lauren shook her head. I'm sure there's a pair already in Tahoe. It's cold there. Andrew stared at her, stunned, as if she'd grown a second head. Are you joking or are you really that clueless? He wondered silently. I said Paris. We can go out of the country to Paris, the city, he clarified. Lauren went quiet for a moment. Oh, that Paris. I thought you meant a pair. I'd rather go to Lake Tahoe. I want our child to be made in the U.S. Andrew sighed, but couldn't help smiling at his wife's silliness. 3 months into their marriage, there was still no sign of a baby, but their bond had grown stronger and they had grown more comfortable with each other. Andrew, are you still awake? Lauren asked one night as they lay in bed facing away from each other. I'm sorry, she added. For what? For not being pregnant yet. We're wasting time. Your expiration date is getting closer. You might not get to see our baby. Lauren sighed deeply. Despite her words, she was clearly sad. Turn around and face me, Andrew said, placing a hand on her shoulder and gently turning her toward him. He was shocked to see tears rolling down her cheeks. Why are you crying? I don't know. I'm just sad. I'm not excited about the 10 million bonus or anything. I just wish you could see and hold our baby before it's too late, Lauren said, sniffling like a child caught sneaking candy. Andrew didn't know whether to laugh or comfort her. In the end, he wiped her tears and pulled her into his arms. Can you stop thinking about my expiration date? You might be too pressured to get pregnant that way. Let's just enjoy the moment. Okay? Enjoy the moment, meaning you want to do it more often? Lauren asked. Won't that destroy my body? I mean, you're pretty. Andrew silenced her with a kiss. She was always saying the weirdest things. Let's just sleep. We can try again tomorrow, he said. Thank goodness. Good night, Andrew. Lauren replied innocently. Andrew watched her as she slept. He was surprised he wasn't disappointed that she wasn't pregnant yet. Wasn't that the whole point of marrying her? To have a child as soon as possible. Was that really all it was? Then why am I content just having her by my side? He wondered. He gently hugged Lauren and kissed her forehead. One day, Lauren turned to Andrew. Hey, are you free tomorrow? If you don't have anything to do, can you come with me? I've been craving beef stew from Lakeview Cliffs. Lakeview Cliffs? That's far, Andrew replied. You could have it delivered or ask someone to make it for you. Lauren frowned. But I want to eat it there. Are you busy tomorrow? Andrew sighed. I'm going to the hospital. Lauren's expression immediately changed to worry. Why? Are you feeling something? Are you leaving me? He cupped her cheeks. No. It's just a checkup. They need to monitor my condition just in case something suddenly happens. You don't want that, do you? He teased. Lauren hit his chest. Don't say that. Just kidding. I've got a few months left, remember? The two fell quiet. They were both feeling the weight of that statement. Andrew had accepted his fate, but falling in love with Lauren made him fear death a little more. Lauren couldn't deny she had fallen for her husband, too. Just imagining life without him tightened her chest and brought tears to her eyes. The next day, Andrew went to the hospital for his checkup, but fate had other plans. "Mr. Walker, there's something I need to tell you," the doctor began, his tone serious. Andrew frowned. "What is it, Doc?" "I'm afraid there was a misunderstanding, Mr. Walker," the doctor said. Andrew's frown deepened. "What do you mean?" "I'm sorry, but the results I initially read weren't yours. They belong to another patient. You don't have cancer. You're not dying. I apologize for the misinformation. You're completely healthy." A storm of emotions hit Andrew: relief, anger, confusion. "I'm ready to face the consequences of my mistake, Mr. Walker," the doctor said. Andrew looked at him coldly. "You better be. I'll have my lawyer contact you." He left the hospital with mixed feelings. He was glad he wasn't dying. That meant more time with Lauren. But what about their agreement? What if she left him once she found out he wasn't terminally ill? Their relationship was based on that premise. Maybe she was thinking she'd be free after a year to marry the man she truly loved. What if she gets mad when she learns she's tied to me for life? Andrew worried. He couldn't tell her yet. Not until he was sure she loved him enough to stay. He would win her over completely before revealing the truth. The next morning, Lauren woke up before Andrew. She made him breakfast even though they had a cook. Then she spent time online researching ways to get pregnant fast. Different positions that boost chances of having a baby boy, she read from a post on Facebook. Andrew suddenly appeared beside her. "What are you reading?" "Ah!" Lauren yelped. "Andrew, you scared me." "I didn't mean to," he said, grabbing her phone and laughing at the article she was reading. "Don't tell me you believe this stuff." Lauren pouted and took her phone back. "There's no harm in trying. You never know. I already told you not to stress over getting pregnant. Maybe it'll happen when we least expect it. We've only been married 3 months. Relax." Lauren sighed. "Fine. By the way, I made you breakfast. Come eat before work." "You didn't have to. We have house staff," Andrew said, but still he sat at the table. A warm feeling stirred in his chest as he looked at the food she prepared. It wasn't fancy, but knowing Lauren had made it just for him was enough. "Stop complaining and eat. I'm your wife. It's my job to take care of you," she said. "Go ahead, try it. It's good." Andrew took a bite and smiled. The food was a little salty, but he liked it. There was nothing extraordinary about the taste, but the effort she put into cooking it made him feel loved. Later that day, Andrew called Lauren and asked her to send over an important document he had forgotten at home. The driver was supposed to deliver it, but Lauren, feeling restless, decided to bring it herself. Wearing a white t-shirt and jeans, she entered the massive Walker Global building and approached the front desk. "Hi, where's Andrew's office?" she asked. The receptionist looked her over from head to toe, obviously judging her simple appearance. "Why would someone dressed like this be asking for the CEO?" "Do you have an appointment with Mr. Walker?" she asked curtly. Lauren shook her head. "Do I need one? I just came to bring something he left at home, and I wanted to surprise him, too." She held up a box of cookies she had baked with the help of their cook. She'd gotten bored at home and decided to try baking for the first time. "Who are you?" the receptionist asked, unimpressed. "I'm Lauren, his wife," she answered humbly. The receptionist scoffed. "Why should I believe that? Why would someone like Mr. Walker marry someone like you?" she muttered under her breath. "I'm sorry. What did you say?" Lauren asked. "I said, I'm not falling for that. Lots of women have come here pretending to be Mr. Walker's girlfriend or wife. You should leave before I have security drag you out." Lauren was shocked. "I'm not pretending. I really am his wife." The receptionist ignored her, treating her like she was invisible. "If I can't go up to his office, can you at least tell him to come down?" "Just say his wife is here," Lauren pleaded. Instead, the receptionist raised her voice. "Guard, get this woman out of here. She's causing trouble." As the guard approached, Lauren gently placed the folder and box of cookies on the desk. "Fine, I'll leave, but please give these to Andrew." He said the documents were important. "Miss, what's your problem? Take your junk with you." The receptionist snapped and tossed the box of cookies back at Lauren. It fell to the floor. The cookies spilled out, broken and scattered. Lauren looked down at her first attempt at baking, now ruined. But rather than lash out, she tried to stay positive. Maybe the ants will still enjoy them, she thought. That was exactly the scene Andrew walked in on. He had just stepped out of the elevator and was walking toward the lobby with several investors in tow for a lunch meeting. But the sight of his wife, humiliated and surrounded by scattered cookies, brought his footsteps to a halt. Without hesitation, Andrew rushed to Lauren's side just as the guard reached for her arm. He tapped the guard's hand. "Step away from my wife," he said firmly. Both the guard and the receptionist froze in shock. "Yes, sir, I was just following orders." She was causing a disturbance, the guard stammered. Andrew helped Lauren to her feet. "Are you okay?" he asked gently. "I'm fine," Lauren muttered. "But the cookies I made for you. The ants got to them." Andrew didn't know whether to laugh or get angry. His own employees had thrown out his wife like garbage, but she was still worried about some cookies. "What happened here?" he demanded, turning to the receptionist, terrified. She stood up straight. "Yes, sir, I didn't know she was your wife." I am sorry. Didn't she say she was my wife?" Andrew asked Lauren. "I did," Lauren confirmed. Andrew glared at the receptionist. "So, why didn't you let her up? Why didn't you call me? I thought she was lying. She didn't look, you know." "Ben," Andrew called out to his secretary. "Yes, sir." "Sanction everyone who disrespected my wife," Andrew ordered. "Wait, Andrew, you don't have to do that," Lauren said, trying to calm him down. But he wouldn't hear it. "No. Let this be a warning to everyone. If you insult my wife, you insult me." Lauren stood still, stunned. Her heart fluttered, but she also felt pity for those who would lose their jobs. Before she could say anything else, Andrew knelt to the ground, picked up the cookie box, and took one of the least broken cookies from inside. "Andrew, don't. Those are dirty," Lauren exclaimed. "My wife made these for me." "I'm not letting ants have them," he said, and took a bite. Then he stood up, took Lauren's hand, and turned to the investors. "I'm sorry. I need to cancel our meeting. My wife needs me." Lauren turned to him, surprised. She hadn't expected him to choose her over work. After all, theirs was only a paper marriage, wasn't it? "Well, Mr. Walker," one of the older investors said, "I don't think we need to meet anymore. Just send the contract to my office and I'll sign it. I've been in business for years and I've made plenty of mistakes with my own family, especially my wife. I'm glad you know your priorities." Andrew shook the investor's hand gratefully. Later, back at the mansion, Andrew hugged Lauren tightly. "You must be my lucky charm," he said with a grin. Lauren smiled shyly. "You're my lucky one. Since I met you, my family's life has changed. They have their own house and farm now. They don't need to tire themselves out anymore. We have people to help them." Andrew brushed a strand of hair from her face. "We're just getting started. There's more to come," he said before leaning in to kiss her. Their moment quickly turned into something more intimate. And because her family was no longer struggling, Lauren had slowly let go of her dreams of becoming an actress. She only remembered it again one day while waiting for Andrew at a coffee shop when a talent manager approached her. "Excuse me, miss. Can I ask, do you have a manager? Are you signed with anyone?" You'd be great as a model or even an actress. Ha? Lauren blinked. I'm serious. You're beautiful and you've got a great figure. If acting's not your thing, modeling would suit you, too. Lauren shook her head. No, thank you. I'm married. Oh, that's too bad. But that's okay. Your marital status can be kept private. Anyway, here's my card in case you change your mind. I'm Hans. And you? Lauren. Lauren Walker. Beautiful name. You've got the same last name as Andrew Walker, Hans commented. Lauren just smiled. She was slowly realizing how famous her husband actually was. On the way home, as she waited for Andrew to finish showering, she sat at her vanity and pulled out the business card Hans had given her. She remembered how just weeks ago, employees at her husband's own company had thrown her out, refusing to believe she was his wife because of how she looked. Simple, provincial. The women who had lined up to marry Andrew had all been stunning and from prominent families. What did she really have? What right did she have to stand beside someone like Andrew Walker? That was when Lauren made a decision. She would build her own name, something to be proud of so she wouldn't be an embarrassment to her husband. Hans was thrilled when Lauren contacted him. He wasted no time and scheduled a meeting the very next day. I'm telling you, Lauren, you're going to be famous. You'll be a supermodel, he said excitedly while flipping through her sample photos for her portfolio. Supermodel? What's that? Someone who takes models away? Lauren asked innocently. Hans stared at her in disbelief. Are you kidding me? You could be a comedian, too. Why would I joke about that? I'm going to be a model, not a comedian, Lauren replied sincerely. Hans could only slap his forehead in disbelief. Don't speak when we're in front of clients. I'll handle all the talking, please, he begged. God have mercy, Lauren mumbled with a grin. Lauren wasn't stupid, but she was a bit slow on the uptake when it came to modern things. Growing up in the province, she hadn't had many chances to mingle with people and was naturally introverted. She barely had any friends. Soon, Lauren began receiving more and more projects. She was undeniably beautiful and had a naturally slender figure. She modeled luxury clothes, jewelry, and handbags. Over time, she began to love what she was doing. But she had forgotten one important thing. She hadn't told Andrew about her new job. It hadn't occurred to her to inform him. He was always busy with work, and she thought he'd understand how bored she was at home all day. At the office, Andrew was in a meeting with his hotel chain's marketing team. They were presenting potential new endorsers for their brand. Stop, Andrew suddenly said, pointing at the screen. He had spotted a familiar face. Why is my wife's picture up there? Sir, you know Miss Lauren, a female staff member asked excitedly. I already said she's my wife. Where did you get that picture? Andrew demanded. Ben quickly approached and whispered something to him. Andrew frowned and opened his laptop, typing in Lauren's name. Model, he thought. Why didn't I know she was working as a model? The endorsement meeting was immediately postponed. When Andrew returned home, Lauren had just arrived from a photo shoot. Oh, you're home early, she greeted. And you? Where have you been? Andrew asked back. Lauren considered lying but gave up. From work. I'm so tired. The photographer gave so many instructions. So, why didn't you tell me? Andrew asked coolly. Tell you what, she replied, pretending not to understand. Your job that you're working as a model. Oh, that. I didn't think I had to tell you. I'm an adult, you know. Why would I need permission? I didn't even tell my mom. Her answer annoyed Andrew. What's your schedule tomorrow? I have a shoot for a summer collection. Why summer collection? That meant she'd be in a swimsuit. Andrew's temper rose. I'm coming with you, he said, storming upstairs. And just as he promised, Andrew accompanied Lauren to her photo shoot the next day. Everyone at the studio was shocked. "You're a woman and you didn't tell me your husband was Andrew Walker." Hans scolded Lauren. She just smiled. If she had told them, they would have treated her differently. She wanted to succeed on her own merit, not because of her famous husband. "I want to make a name for myself, not ride on my husband's fame," she said. Hans paused. "You've got a point. You're already famous after just a few weeks." "But we've got a problem," Hans whispered, glancing at Andrew, who was standing off to the side with a serious look, watching Lauren get her makeup done. "What is it?" Lauren asked. "Why did you bring Andrew? Your partner in the shoot today. It's kind of intimate. What if he gets jealous?" Lauren glanced at Andrew. He was being offered a chair and drinks by the assistants. Their eyes met. Honestly, Andrew was even more handsome than her shoot partner, so it was no surprise he was drawing attention. During the shoot, Lauren couldn't relax. She could feel Andrew's gaze burning into her. If she got too close to her male partner, Andrew would halt the shoot. Everyone in the studio was tense and stressed because of him. Lauren kept apologizing to everyone until the shoot finally ended. She wasn't sure whether to be flattered that her husband was jealous or annoyed that so many people had to suffer because of it. Dragging Andrew away afterwards, she said, "Why do you act like that? You're not the director, but you bossed everyone around. He was too close. You can pose without touching." Andrew shot back. "Why are you so annoyed?" Lauren grinned. "You're jealous, aren't you? And if I am, what are you going to do about it?" Andrew leaned in, dead serious. "You're mine. No one else is allowed to touch you." Lauren gulped, unable to look away from her ridiculously handsome husband. Then she leaned in and kissed him quickly. "You have nothing to be jealous about. Now everyone knows I'm yours." Andrew straightened and looked away to hide his smile. "Why did you even decide to model?" he asked. "I just wanted to make a name for myself." "So you could be proud of me," Lauren answered honestly. He faced her and placed his hands on her shoulders. "You don't have to prove anything. I'm already proud of you, but if you need confirmation, I'll plaster your face on a billboard." That gave him an idea. "I'll prove it to you." Andrew's plan was to make Lauren the face of his hotel chain. Just a few days later, Lauren was dubbed the Queen of Walker Hotels. She laughed and thanked Andrew. "I didn't expect you to actually put me on a billboard. You're really crazy. Now, do you believe me?" Andrew asked, kissing her on the forehead. They lay in bed together, post-intimacy, cuddling. "Time flies," Lauren said. "I still remember lining up at the mansion thinking it was a Big Brother audition. Now we've been married for nearly 5 months." Andrew stroked her hair. "You're right. Honestly, I wish I could slow down time." "Why?" she asked. He turned to her. "I'm scared of losing you." Andrew stopped moving. Lauren was serious. "What do you mean?" he asked. She looked away, worried she was crossing a line. "Andrew, am I even allowed to love you?" His heart skipped a beat. That might have been the happiest moment of his life. A world that had once been gray now felt alive. He had never feared death before, but now the thought of leaving Lauren behind terrified him. "Why are you quiet?" "I'm sorry, Andrew. I didn't know it wasn't allowed." He cut her off with a passionate kiss. When they pulled apart, he said, "Just love me. That's all I want. Forget the contract. If you want, we can get married again. This time for real. No more rules. Just us." Tears welled in Lauren's eyes. She hugged him tight. "I thought you'd get mad and kick me out if I said I loved you." Andrew hugged her back, smiling. "I thought I'd die before I got you to fall for me." Lauren pulled away and playfully smacked his chest. "What are you saying now?" Andrew suddenly turned serious. "What if I told you? I'm not actually dying. Lauren's face lit up. Really? Is that what the doctor said when you went this month? Andrew hesitated. Should he tell her now? What if she got mad? Would you be angry if I told you I've known for a while? Of course I'd be mad. Why would you hide something like that from me? She said. Andrew's heart sank. But Lauren added, I'd only be mad for a bit. What's more important is that you're going to live a long life. That's good news. Andrew smiled with relief. Okay, fine. I found out last month. I didn't tell you because I was scared. Scared you'd leave. Our deal was for 1 year. I thought you might be upset if you found out you were stuck with me forever. Lauren gave him a sweet smile. I don't mind being stuck with you forever. Andrew leaned in to kiss her, but Lauren suddenly pulled back and ran to the bathroom to throw up. Worried, Andrew followed, but she stopped him. Don't come near me. You stink, Andrew. He sniffed himself. He'd just showered. You were kissing me all over earlier, and now I smell. Stay on the couch or in the guest room tonight. Don't come near me, Lauren ordered. Andrew stood in shock. Are you kicking me out of our bedroom? The next day, while Andrew was at work, he received a call informing him that Lauren had fainted during a photo shoot. He rushed to the hospital in a panic. What happened? He asked Lauren's manager, Hans, as soon as he arrived. I don't know. She just collapsed in the middle of the shoot. If anything happens to her, you're going to pay, Hans warned. Andrew stormed into the private room where Lauren lay unconscious, her skin pale. A moment later, the doctor entered. Are you her relative? He asked. I'm her husband, Andrew replied immediately. Well, congratulations, Mr. Walker. Your wife is 6 weeks pregnant, the doctor said with a smile. Pregnant?